There's so much you can do. There is no platform like them.
It's so powerful as a small business owner to utilize LinkedIn because it's a free way to connect with people. Welcome back to the Locker Room Talk podcast. My name is Riley Beatty, a small business owner and host of this podcast. I'm joined by my co-host and your corporate executive insider, Stacey Miller. Together, we bring you the business resources and knowledge that have traditionally been held secret in the locker room of the good old boys club. Every single week, we invite you to break down the locker room door with us to chat about the development, marketing, sales, and operational knowledge you need to grow and scale your small business. Stacey, what is on the game plan for today?
Today is all about LinkedIn. This is one of our banter episodes. I can't wait to talk about LinkedIn with you because I think we definitely experience it in different ways. So yeah, that's what's on the docket today.
It's time to get unhinged. But before we do that, we're going to do our small talk and we're going to start off with the question of the day. So, Stacey, what was the last thing you posted on LinkedIn?
Oh my gosh. I would literally have to go look. I show up on LinkedIn, I go hard, I come off of LinkedIn, kind of forget about it. I should definitely be better, but I probably reposted something from one of the businesses I've worked at, but I'll have to go look. What's the last thing you posted on LinkedIn?
Posted a job requisition that we had at Steady State, but I used to be a lot better about LinkedIn. I had somebody who was posting on it weekly for me, and I need to get back to that.
I do too. Okay, now I'm on my LinkedIn because I'm checking. All of my last activities was me saying congrats to people about things, which is nice, but I haven't posted anything in a while. I definitely need to do better.
I'm really interested on your opinion on LinkedIn because I've only used LinkedIn as somebody who runs her own business. But me a little bit about LinkedIn from a corporate perspective.
I need to go in the Wayback Machine for a second and talk about LinkedIn earlier in my career versus LinkedIn now because it's definitely different. When I first started getting really engaged in LinkedIn, I was actually a technical recruiter. And LinkedIn is such a big tool for recruiting that I spent hours every day building out my LinkedIn as part of my job. Nobody told me this is part of your job, but I was like, this is a way better platform for me at the time than our old kind of archaic database of resumes that were outdated. LinkedIn was very new at the time and very exciting. So that was how I started on LinkedIn. But now it's become so much bigger than what it started as. And I definitely use it more for professional networking and for keeping up with different information from different companies, from different colleagues, that type of thing.
It is so interesting how LinkedIn has developed, and there's not really any competitor to LinkedIn.
Yes.
With my entire time being on social, there's all these social networking apps that have popped up, but there's not a lot of things competing with LinkedIn. You have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like LinkedIn reigns champion over everybody.
No, I couldn't agree more. LinkedIn has built its own little monopoly in the market. And I think what's so smart about this and would be fascinating to analyze as a business case is LinkedIn started as this professional networking site, almost synonymous with like connecting with people on Facebook at the time, but you had your resume available. And it was so unheard of to have your resume be public like that when LinkedIn started. And so it was so incredible for people to be able to see their own abbreviated resumes across their peer group, across different companies, etc. But what LinkedIn's done that's so fascinating is they have slowly built out all of these different functions within their platform that makes them have no single competitor. They have the ability to post articles similar to Substack or Medium or Vox. They have an entire paid recruiting platform, job search function that's in competition with things like Indeed or ZipRecruiter. They have the ability to build out so much. Like there's portfolios, there's communities, there's event groups. There's like so much you can do. And then of course they have the feed, they have posts, they have the ability to do your own marketing pushes and amplification of things going on in your business or the business you support. There is no platform like them.
It's so powerful too as a small business owner to utilize LinkedIn because it's a free way to connect with people. And coincidentally, I talked about how I just posted a job. If I was going to look at Indeed or any of these other platforms, I would have to pay to play. And I don't have to do that for LinkedIn. I posted and I got about 4,000 impressions on my job posting, and I posted one thing. That's very impressive for
Incredible.
free, like as a free resource.
Totally, totally. I'm so curious too, because from my corporate career trajectory, LinkedIn is such an obvious space to engage in. And like I said, I've definitely gone through times when I'm really engaged, I'm posting all the time, to times when I'm just liking, commenting, and more passive on LinkedIn. For a small business, how do you see LinkedIn coming into platforms that you utilize for marketing and social? Because it is a little bit different than a traditional social media platform. Like, how do you post? How do you engage?
On social media and through our Eat More Carbs podcast is client facing. And with LinkedIn, I'm not going to be going towards clients. That's not going to be the main focus. The main focus is professional networking, like we've been talking about. So I find that it's best if you continue to share content, but you have to change the content for the audience. So the audience, because it's more professional, is going to be looking for more professional guidance. You have to change your content a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a good call out. I often see on LinkedIn if you were going to have a webinar or something like that, you could post about it there. Whereas on social, you're not going to post the same static post in social terms of come to this webinar. Here's the information about the webinar. It's more like a classic invitation on LinkedIn, but that's the norm there.
Yes. Another big difference is the networking or the community piece is very different on LinkedIn. So, for example, on Instagram, I do a lot of community through stories. I get a lot of engagement through stories, but that's not an option on LinkedIn. So, one of the best ways that you can get people to know you is by commenting value and engaging on conversations because that's often happening.
I also appreciate that on LinkedIn, a big piece of it is amplifying other people's posts. I know there's those capabilities on other social platforms, but they don't quite operate the same. On LinkedIn, anybody in your network, you can amplify their post. And I've always loved this to both amplify my colleagues, my friends, my peers, but also connect dots because it is a platform all about connection. And so it helps showcase my interests, what I support through amplifying others, which is such a cool, positive way to lift people up through a networking platform.
I agree with you on the amplification piece because it's just a great way to support others. And I was honestly so touched when a lot of my colleagues were sharing and reposting the job application or anytime somebody like shares the content that I'm talking about. So I love that community piece. And you know that we're all about community at the locker room. So it's just another way to support each other. Stacey, if you could give 2 to 3 best practices that you want to see small business owners doing on LinkedIn, what would those be?
Okay, first off, if you don't have a LinkedIn, make one on the personal level and for your business. So critical. Next up, spend the time. When I started on LinkedIn, I really invested a lot of time. It was a big upfront investment. It's paid dividends ever since. Spend the time, set a reminder on your calendar for a month where you go on every day. You increase your network, so you add connections to your network and you post. Set a goal for yourself, post twice a week, post once a week, just post consistently for a month. It's really going to increase your overall visibility on LinkedIn. So create your own LinkedIn if you don't have one, create your business LinkedIn, amplify, post, and connect. And then finally, if you want to be a super user on LinkedIn, write a couple articles, maybe set a goal to write a couple a year. It doesn't need to be a big investment, but those articles go a long way to show that you're a more robust LinkedIn user.
Are these articles that are on LinkedIn?
Yeah, you can write articles on LinkedIn, and it's just like writing an article on Substack or on Medium or on Vox, but it just shows that you have something to offer and then you can amplify it in your feed. Other people can repost it. It's just a helpful way to really deeply engage on LinkedIn. I have a bonus tip though.
Let's hear it.
This is not applicable for every business, but some businesses may benefit from the paid offerings that LinkedIn has. We are not sponsored by LinkedIn. This is not a LinkedIn ad, but just want to share that some of their tools are incredible. And so if that fits your business, just like Google, what are the paid offerings of LinkedIn? Give it a skim. They are incredible. When I have used them in business, they're really, really well built out tools. They also have a lot of free education on there and paid education. So there's a lot of cool stuff on LinkedIn that's bigger than just the feed and the profile pages. That if you're going to invest time into LinkedIn and take this advice, also explore what the other areas are that are a little less known. Okay, those were all of my tips. Do you have any tips I missed on LinkedIn, especially from a small business perspective?
First thing I would say is consistency, which you also talked about, setting up a schedule and being consistent. Being consistent is so underrated when it comes to so many things in life, especially building your business. So, yes, we want to be consistent. My second tip would be also to provide value with communication and engagement. You don't want to just be like, great job, Sally. Like, you need to provide engagement. And yes, you should cheer people on, you should repost, you should support others, but you also have to provide value. And that's a piece I feel like a lot of the time people are missing, especially with any type of social, is it's not just a consistency piece, but it's also the value prop. I'm super curious though. Do you like when people message you on LinkedIn?
Well, I love messaging on LinkedIn. Messaging on LinkedIn is super nice. And I have a lot of colleagues I've worked with over the years that are in different countries or in different areas of business that I might not have gotten their cell number or their personal email when one of us left that company or whatever, but I can always go back and talk to them on LinkedIn. And it's kept me connected to people in my network from a professional standpoint because of that direct message component. So I'm very pro LinkedIn DM, but it's all about how you use it, right? Like I'm not reaching out to random people through my DMs. I'm definitely using it to stay connected in my network.
That community and that follow up, which we talked about on other episodes and we will talk about even more, is so valuable. And I do think a lot of people are sleeping on LinkedIn. They're not using it to its fullest, or they only think about it as a job application network when there's so much value in just building your network in general.
I agree. One of the best tips I got was just to like go find LinkedIn pages you like and then mimic your profile off of that. Like if you're just getting started on there, don't be intimidated. Go scope out pages that you're interested in, look up a business you know, see if they have a page on there, find friends on there, see what their pages look like. People should not sleep on LinkedIn. It's a great platform.
Yeah, and definitely check out both of our pages. I remember when you checked out my page like a month ago, I was like so honored to get the notification that you looked at my LinkedIn. I was like, she made it.
It is such a funny part of LinkedIn that they always tell you who looks at your page, but don't be timid. Just go look at people's pages. Everybody does it. It's like one of the benefits of the platform.
I love it. If you're listening to this episode, you will have to let us know what you think about LinkedIn and how you utilize it. We will be sharing a lot more about LinkedIn. It's obviously something that we're both passionate about, and we'll be sharing a lot more about best practices too.